Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the AOR Project Cars 2 GT3 PC Tier 1 race, Season 10, round number 4, here at Le Mans Bugatti. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Not normally me that heads the charge as far as the stream is concerned, but that is what you have because of a certain apparent, people running around kicking an inflated ball around. Never mind, not that I'm bitter. I have got with me the wonderful, the fabulous, the gorgeous Stevie SQ!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, lads. I am your fizzy for this evening.
You've been called worse. Right.
Yes.
So, we have got qualifying underway, and as you can see, we've got Storm flashing his lights, interestingly. Not quite sure who he's indicating to, but never mind. Before we get into that, what I want to bring up is the championship standings for where everybody currently is. Now, Fizzy wasn't able to give us a nicer version of this, so I'm just going to use the forum page with Storm, of course, with 2 wins out of 3, leading the way with 145 to Heidi. Second, Jardier, our champion from last season. Third, but quite some way back. Then Speed Demon 4, Scott 5, Popsy 6, Dinda returning to GT3 Racing after quite a big gap, but he is with us. In 7th, Villa Lobos 8, Johan 9, and Ironic rounding out the top 10. Quite a big spread of points from top to bottom in just the top 10. But a very big battle, really, from 6th down to the bottom of the table where Berserker and Zal currently lie. So, not entirely sure what to expect on this particular track, if I'm honest, because I don't think I've ever commentated on this particular track. GT3 Racing, as far as I'm aware, Mr. Stevie has never been to this particular circuit.
I think we have.
Would be before my time, though.
I remember maybe season 3, season 4, somewhere around there. I think we did it once. It was back when I was racing anyway, so long time ago. Longy
time ago. Yeah, that was actually before my time, because season 5 was when I joined the rank, or the season 4 finale, a little more specifically. T3 to Heidi in the Z4 is not got a time on the board, and he is storming on down towards the chicane turns 7 and 8. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the corner names because I'm not French and I won't get them right. So sticking with the corner numbers.
I didn't even know there were corner names, so you're already up on me on that one.
Looks like Speed Demon has got the current pole time 1:34.632, and there he is in the Audi. He has indeed got the top spot by half a second over Jardier and Scott in third, then 1:35.140 and 1:35.219 respectively, with Storm, our current temperature leader, in fourth, 1:35.553. Ironic is just jumped up to fifth, I think, and there he is in the Lamborghini. Nagram 6th, Sterowitz 7 with 8. He's the person in 8th, Stevie? Is that Danny? Oh, new guy. It is indeed. Now, Danny had a terrible race last time out in our extended race. The 1.5 hours at Indianapolis went very, very badly for recently promoted Danny Vandermeer. He was, for the first 2 races, he was actually dominating Tier 2, so he was promoted to Tier 1. And currently finds himself in 8th position. Storm, as he has just taken the pole time, 1:34.004 in the Audi. Wow, that was an absolute storm. He found 1.5 seconds over his previous time. And Jardier has put his car back in the pits. Dinda is put himself in third with 1:34.339 in the Mercedes. Oops, getting a little tail happy there. We've got an interesting mixture of cars actually in the top. And Nagram's jumped up to fourth. Just seen his name jump. Oh, wow, that was an amazing effort there by Dinda.
He did save it.
He did. That was very impressive.
Yeah, I was just going to point out, it's really nice to see different cars so close to the top.
So Storm has got the pole spot, as previously mentioned. And Alexis has got his Lamborghini into third, 1:34.189. Wow, that is really close. The top 3 separated by 0.2. That's a very good start. There is Jardier, our champion from last season, now demoted down to 8th position with that 1:35.140. So hopefully he'll be able to find some pace. Let's see who else we've got. Where Johan has got his name of the ball, 135.072 in 7th. He's just put his car back in the pits. There is Scott in 9th, the Tier 2 champion from last season. 135.219 in the blue Mercedes. Here he is roaring past with Gibbs. This is how I believe it's pronounced. It is Gibbs, and that's what I'm running with. I haven't been corrected yet. In the Thrustmaster coloured Audi in 10th place with that 135.414.
I'd go with Gibbs.
I'd go with Gibbs as well.
I wonder whether this track's taking a little bit of like warming up to and getting used to, because the times are far larger than it. The gaps are far larger than we've used to. It's taking people, it looks like, a couple of laps to get in. Unfortunately, they've only got they've got under 3 minutes to get it in.
Yes, they don't have a great deal of time left to try and get a time on the board. And there were a few people that, and indeed there are still a few people that have not got a time on the board. Unfortunately, Nick Meadow is not able to take part in qualifying. He earned himself a quali ban after last race, sadly.
Shall we have a lap with Storm?
Yes, let's have a lap with our pole sitter then, as he is then streaming down towards or through the Dunlop curve into the Dunlop chicane. Any Le Mans fan will recognise that particular iconic part of the circuit well. Under the hoarding down towards turn 4, La Chapelle. This is where we leave the main circuit, as Nagram has got himself into 6th position, 134.793, and gets his car back in the pits. His qualifying is pretty much done unless he comes straight back out. Turn 5, Le Musée. I have a go with the names, but I apologise wholeheartedly if I get them wrong. A couple of cars ahead of him, but not close enough to upset the rhythm. Down to the double right-hander on turn 6, Garage Vert. Oh, we got a little twitchy on the way in, and wow, that car looks very light. As he was coming through turn 6, he really didn't look settled through that double right-hander at all. As Zenny jumps up into 8th, Popsu is now in 9th as well. Jardier is down in 12th, so he's going to have to work quite hard to climb up the ranks. Chemin Aubeuf is the chicane we've just gone through, turns 7 and 8. Then Zdu Garage Bleu, something like that, in turns 9 and 10, the section we are now going through. Now we will be rejoining the main section. Oh, he's backed off. Storm has decided to back off. He's still got a minute to go, so he's decided to just have another run. And then the double right-hander, classed as turn 11, and raccordement, and away he goes once again. So Speed Demon in 2nd, 134.126, still remains just over a 10th behind the pole spot. And Alexis in 3rd, Dinder in 4th. Jardier jumped up to 5th then, 134.460 for last season's champion. And we will see if he is able to improve. Speed Demon doesn't improve at the moment, but he is on a time lap then. 23 seconds for anybody to start a lap. This person will not be starting a lap. It's to Heidi, who won the opening race. So he will start no higher than 7th. Yuhan currently 13th now. 135.072 coming through the double right-hander to finish the lap. Does he improve from 13th? Answer is he's just beaten the flag. He did jump up to 6th. That's a great improvement. 134.592. There is Scott. He's I thought he was all out of shape there. He was actually coming back into the pits. So Villalobos in the Z4 coming through the final turns. Oh no, he's not, beg your pardon, that's the double right of turn 6. So he is in 15th with 135.540. Streaming on.
Diamond's in the pits as well, so yeah. He's abandoned whatever laps he was on.
Yeah, 134.126. He did not improve, and Jardier has jumped up to 3rd, 134.146. So that is 3 drivers within 2 tenths of Storm's time, and Villalobos then coming to complete the lap. The last right-handers. Keep the car nice and settled. It's very easy to chew, overcook it. Ironic jumps up to 5th. Very nicely done. And Villalobos did not improve. He remains in 16th on that 135.342. Storm did actually improve as well. He broke into the 133s with that 33.817. Wow, he is going to be hard to beat today.
It is certainly looking like it. The grid certainly closed up a little bit towards the end of that session. By the way, stream in chat, please tell me if my volume's okay. And I also saw Andrex saying I was a little quiet, which is the first time I've ever been told that in my life.
I did try and boost you this side. Unfortunately, if I do that, you start to distort. So
that's fine.
Your dulcet tones must not be ruined.
Well, that's usually ruined by what I say.
So the only man on track, by the look of it, is Popsu. He won't be on a time lap now. No, his day is done. He starts the 14th, 134.991. Well, that's not what we expect to see from Popsy, but he's struggled a bit in this season compared to last season. But I think it's very much a changing of the guard, as Jardier hasn't been able to run away with it. Whether that's down to the banning of the Ferraris, who knows? But certainly is shuffling the order. So there it is, the confirmed starting order. Storm starts on pole with Speed Demon 2, Jardier 3, and Alexis 4, Ironic 5, Dinda in 6th, Johan 7 to Heidi in 8th, Nagran 9, and new guy Danny Vandermeer in 10th place. Very nicely done. Zenny 11, Gibbs 12, Nestero is 13, Popsu 14, Scott, Villalobos, Hunter, Noah, Colonel McCoy, Berserker, Bo, and Nick Meadow, and Andrix is acting as a pace car this time, as he was last time around. He's in a Road B Porsche by the look of that particular image. That struck me as a little strange, but then he wouldn't be in a Ferrari, would he?
Well, of course not. The one that standout performer there is from Danny Vandermeer.
Most certainly.
And it takes a lot of credit there, because to go from a championship you're winning to start back at 0, that takes a lot of guts, and he's come in and he's proven why he should have done that, and he's doing well. Yeah,
absolutely. He had a very bad race last time out. Unfortunately, he had no choice because of the way that the reverse grid is built. He had to start from the back, and his race just went very badly wrong very early. So sadly, he wasn't able to really show what he was made of last week. But straight away getting himself right in the midst of the Tier 1 drivers is a very impressive feat nonetheless. So Andrex in the pace car starts right at the back, so he's going to have to ferret his way through the field to lead them around on their parade lap. For those unfamiliar with the format, the drivers will be led around the track by Andrex in the pace car, which in this case is the Porsche. That leaves us 21 drivers to then complete 36 racing laps. They have a mandatory pit stop that they have to form. They have to have done one complete racing lap before they come in the pit, so they cannot come in any earlier than lap 3, and they must have served the mandatory pit stop before 5 laps remaining on the counter, so before lap 30, quick math, 33.
Correct. I have to visibly count it on my fingers to make sure.
I did exactly the same thing. With the conversations me and Stevie have been having, we do seem to be related, but from completely different families. So there goes our pace car then. As you can see, it is dry, but it is dark. I love the fact that the field has already gotten away, and before the pace car's gotten out towards the front, everyone is very keen and eager to get this race underway. So here he comes. So what to expect from this one then, Mr. Stevie?
If it's anything like previous races, a whole lot of racing. Again, we haven't raced here. I think we've only raced here one time, only it was a long time ago, so we'll say it's a new track for this game. There you go. So yeah, hopefully we're going to have something that we're not quite used to, and hopefully we have a lot of nice, fair, clean racing.
Yeah.
And although it's not the full circuit, it's still a legendary track, this. Everyone knows Le Mans.
Absolutely. And yeah, I don't know that we'd have quite an impressive show were we running the full Le Mans in the GT3 cars. That would be quite an interesting thing to try and emulate, I suppose.
Never say never.
Never say never, absolutely. But this is a very technical circuit. There's no very long straights. So those that are able to set up a car for a decent amount of turn in, a good level of downforce will really shine well here. So we've got the top 3 are Audis, and then we have a Lambo. Now the Lambos haven't always fared too well in this season so far, but Ironic and Alexis 4th and 5th. Of course, they're showing 5th and 6th because Andrex is listed as top, of course. He will pull into the pits when the 2x2 grid is reformed. Also, this track is very narrow, so it's going to be a very big job for the drivers to try and overtake. It's going to make it a little easier for those trying to defend, but this is really where we're going to see a great amount of skill being exhibited, or we certainly hope so. There's the 2x2 grid, so Andrex will now sprint off and park his pace car in the pits. His job will be done. So the field will now be led around to the start-finish straight, and TX3 Storm will signify the beginning of the race when he returns to the start-finish straight and floors it. That'll be when the race is underway proper, and it'll then be a race to the flag, as I say, with the mandatory pit stop included. Around the double right-hander then. It is now up to Storm as to when he signifies this race is good to go. He doesn't necessarily have to wait for the field to get around the last corner, and away we go. We are racing here at Le Mans Bugatti. As exactly what we said, Andrex has got his car in the pits, and a clean start so far as they stream through the Dunlop curve. Now's the first very heavy braking zone. Oh, a bit of door banging there between Jardier and Speed Demon as they come through the first part of that chicane there. Speed Demon hanging on to that second position. Alexis and Ironic are looming there, waiting for any kind of mistake to happen. The Audis not yet swapping position. Oh, look at that. That's Jardier. I beg your pardon. That's Alexis looking to try and make a move on Jardier. Couldn't quite get the traction when he needs it. Johan is putting pressure on Ironic as well. That's for 5th position, and that's an outside move around turn 5. Couldn't quite make it work, but great effort there. And there's that Z4. That's to Heidi. He's already made up quite an impressive amount of places, and he's looking to make a dive on the inside of Dinda in his Mercedes in that double right-hander. It is going off here, there, and everywhere, exactly as you imagine as the race begins. But so far, so good. No major incidents.
No, it was actually very clean, and then Storm did exactly what he needed to do. He got a perfect jump. He caught Speed Demon and Jardier napping, it looked like.
Absolutely. Speed Demon then has held off Jardier, but already Storm's got 1.5 seconds between himself and his chasers. Johan getting up into 4th position, getting an inside move on the Lamborghini of Alexis, demoting him that spot. And Ironic is actually down to 8th, so he's lost a few positions. There's a lot of jostling still going on. There is Nagram in 9th position in the Rainbow Lamborghini. He stares at the back of Ironic. There's Danny Vandermeer. He's held on to his 10th position. De Heidi's up to 7th. De Heidi's a stunning start. He was down in 12th, I believe it was. So, yeah, he's had a pretty decent run so far. There's those lead 2 Audis once again. You can see Alexis is staying right with Johan. He's not wanting to let that one go. And I would imagine that the Mercedes, I can't imagine being particularly too popular here. They're great in the straights, but not necessarily too nimble through the corners. But we will see. It wouldn't be the first time they've been proved wrong. Ironic still trying to hang on to the back of the little Z4. I would say little Z4 all sounds disingenuous, but it is a very small car compared to the rest. And Alexis having a look at the inside of turn 6. I think that's going to be quite a popular diving spot, essentially. But Johan holding on to 4th position so far.
I think turn 6 is definitely going to be a good spot. Turn 5, if you can get the good run out of the longer corner. But my God, this is some close racing already. It looks like Alexis.
Oh, trouble!
Goes off.
Oh no, is that yeah, it was indeed Alexis. Yeah, well, good spot there. He's down to 10th, and as Danny Vandermeer has just gone through as well. Has he been there? Oh, 3 wide. That's generally a very bad idea. It's Vandermeer then. Zenny's gone through as well, demoting Alexis, and so did Gibbs actually. So Alexis down to 12th.
Heidi's in the pits.
Ah, he's choosing to get now is the time that they can take their pit stop. We saw Heidi put this. Oh, look at that! Heidi in the first race pitted very, very early and made it work brilliantly well. It looks like Add Alexis, and who was the other one that came in? There's 3 of them. It is Bo. Oh, Nick Meadows in the pit as well. So, as is Popsu. That's the bottom 5. They've all come in. Oh no! Nick Meadows overshot his pit box. Now they are looking to try and do essentially an undercut. Everyone is in traffic, so that they're looking to try and capitalise on the fact that lots of people are trying to defend and jostle the position. But you run the risk if they get damaged, they may well have to pit again. So it is a risk, but so far so good for these drivers.
Absolutely, it's what makes this strategy work. You can pit so easily as Noah just gets a little penalty by the looks of it.
Oh,
coming under pressure from McCoy. No. But yeah, this manager pit stop, you can get out of the traffic. You don't have to just sit there and stick behind a car if you can't get past them on track. You can totally just get out of the way, but you run the risk. If anything goes wrong, your race is in dire jeopardy.
yes, very much. Oops, that's not how you take that corner, Noah. Though he's going to have to back off there to avoid making his penalty even worse. Nagram, and that's somebody else coming in. That's ironic. Yeah, the lead Lamborghini has brought his car in. So again, looking to capitalise on those that are still very bunched up. Nagram is up to 6th with Dinder on his tail, and along with Danny Vandermeer. So he's having a pretty good run in this race. Oh, quite a few people have come in. Hunter, Ironic, Berserker, and Colonel McCoy. Now, is Berserker still running the Renault? Because as we were just trying to look at them, I thought Berserker was in a different car. Berserker's changed car. He was running the Renault last week, and he has opted to go for the Mercedes, which is a fair choice. I think the Renault was definitely a struggle. You could see how much he was really struggling to keep the car under control, particularly in Indianapolis. So a fair decision then to change the car, and Colonel McCoy has come out right with him as well. Back up to the front.
It's worth pointing out as well, to take that change of car, you lose all your championship points. It's not a decision you take just on a whim. You don't decide one night, oh, I'll use this car because it's better. If you do it, you lose all your championship points. Zal's
also changed car as well, which is interesting because Zal actually was 8th in the first round, so that's a lot of points that Zal's lost. But Zal's not with us this week, which a bit of a shame. But on the press nonetheless. Storm now 2 seconds ahead of Speed Demon and Jardier. There is Dinder right on the tail of Yuhan. Now, it's not generally very comfortable to have a driver the caliber of Dinder's nailed to your tail, but that is exactly what Yuhan has for himself at the moment. There is Nagram in the Rainbow Lamborghini. There's about 1.6 between the Lambo and the Mercedes. Danny now to 7th, and Scott is in along with Zenny. So another 2 people looking to get their pit stops out of the way early on. Don't see any damage on the T2 champion. So this should be a pretty quick stop for him. There is Jardier still hanging on to the back of Speed Demon. Could be just biding his time, may not be wanting to push too hard. But if they do that, they are letting Storm run away. Storm in the 34s, 134.956 last time around for the race leader. So they don't really want to kind of lose too much time to TX3 Storm. Everybody has realised how quick that particular man is, as Nick Medio's got his name on the penalty board as well. So very easy to do. There he is in the McLaren. He's going to lose that position to Bo in the white Merc. There he goes. I'm surprised actually Nick Media didn't opt to change the McLaren. Oh, wow! That was very much out of nowhere.
a little bit of the wheel banging, but Bo has got the position.
No,
that was very much a I'm coming back here, whether you like it or not. A fair attempt, but it didn't quite work.
A fair attempt by the McLaren, but didn't quite pay off. There is Colonel McCoy right with them as well. So Popsu has got Zenny for company. That is in 14th position.
Both of whom have pitted.
Both of them have pitted. Yep, I completely forgot to... I did say before the broadcast I'd make a note of them, and I've completely forgotten to do it. So I'm glad you're doing it, Stevie.
Oh, no, someone's just spun round.
Oh, and Alexis again in the Lamborghini. Now, whether there was impact with somebody else or not, we don't know. That's on the double right-hander of turn 6. He's obviously started to lose it as he's come into the turn, ending up quite facing the wrong way on the infield. That's dropped him right the way down to last. What a shame, he qualified so well.
Yeah, it happens, man. And fair play to him, because he didn't just stamp on the throttle and rejoin the track.
Yep.
Always give a shout out to drivers using their brain rather than their foot in that situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speed Demon is now under a lot of pressure by Jardier. The ACR liveried Audi has already closed in on the red and white car.
Jardier 4/10 faster last lap.
Wow, that was actually quicker than Storm. So we know how quick Jardier is. Jardier was one of the fastest men in last week's race at Indianapolis. Of course, the dominant force in the Ferrari last season for the elite tier. So what this tier was formerly known as. Noah has got his name on the penalty boards. Oh no, he was already, beg your pardon.
Yeah, we saw him have a little trip across the chicane.
It's so easy to do when the track is so narrow and everybody is really bunched up. So
it's also incredibly difficult to do when it's dark. And
yes,
the track is very flat and it's very difficult to spot.
Yep.
That's what we're doing, really.
Indeed. As he continues on his way up to Johan then. Still has Zinder for company, 6 seconds behind.
Hold on.
Oh, hello. Nice spot there, Stevie. Side by side coming through the Dunlop curve. Jardier's nosed ahead, but Johan's got the first inside line. He's got very deep. That's going to compromise him through the Dunlop chicane and still nose alongside. Jardier, can he do it? Whoa, that was very aggressive defensive manoeuvring by Speed Demon. But that very deep move into the Dunlop chicane completely killed Jardier's momentum and enabled Speed Demon to hang on to that second position. Very firm, but was fairly done.
It was, but this is it. You wonder why Jardier decided I can go faster than you. I can get past. I can keep up the Storm. That little squabble has cost them already nearly 2 seconds to Storm. He's loving this out front. He's just sitting there going, yeah, you fight. I'll be down the road.
Exactly that. He is quite happy then for these two to cost each other time. Jardier, of course, very, very keen to get on with it, get down the road. You've just seen Storm go out of the shot. That is what 5 seconds looks like on this particular circuit. Then through 7 and 8, now through 9 and 10. Jardier is backed up a little bit. He's going to try. Oh, he's either made a mistake or he's probably backed up a little too much. That's nearly a second he's put between himself and Speed Demon.
So he's going to pit then.
So did I, yeah. that will probably catch us out more than once as they kind of just filter off of that particular corner. I'll tell you who else is also quick. 11th position to Heidi is on a charge as well. 35.6 in the Z4 with clear air last lap around. So don't discount the early stoppers. We saw how well Heidi made it work last time. But
he is first of all the cars that are pitted by my reckoning.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You were also looking at, before I rudely interrupted you, Popsu and Zenny. They were pretty close together. There they are. Scott's not too far ahead either. Now coming through that final turn. Back on the gas then. So still only half a second separating Popsu and Zenny. It's not the way that Popsu would have wanted this season to go, I'm sure. There is Scott. Not too bad there in 13th position.
It's having a bit of a lonely race, it looks like, is Scott.
Could well be. I mean, he's pretty much equidistant between Ironic and Popsu. Yeah. As Ironic, of course, sorry, it was Alexis, Ironic's teammate that we saw having a bit of a grass cutting session. There is Gibbs with Villa Lobos in short succession. Villa Lobos was actually having some technical difficulty before this evening's race, so it's glad to see that he's able to make it. There, up further down the road is Danny and... Oh, that's not how you do that one. That's Danny then. Oh, big impact then. Gibbs just had a massive tank slapper there, and sadly, Villa Lobos couldn't avoid him. Slams into the back of the Audi, and now rejoins the track. Very nearly caught someone out as well. That was Noah that just came past. So that's going to no doubt have caused damage to both cars indeed. It was quite a heavy clout. And
I'll be surprised if both of... Oh, Gibbs stays out. That's interesting. Maybe he's going to give it a lap, see how his situation goes, and if it goes wrong, then I assume he'll be quickly in.
Indeed, that's going to cost Villa Lobos time. Battle for fourth. Johan and Dinder still rages on.
Dinder apparently not being able to make that much of an impression on Johan. He's still with him, but he's not getting close enough on the timings, at least, to have a crack at him.
Indeed. But when you're racing drivers, when that red mist descends, logic and reason don't always prevail.
No.
Popsu still fighting off Zenny. A couple of seconds behind Scott and the Hunter in the background. It appears as Odan on my screen, which is of course being broadcast to the stream. For some odd reason, he changed his name. He's changed it on Steam, but on my Steam, he's still listed as Odan. Don't ask me why. Not a clue. But he is...
Clearly for that perfect comical comedy moment where you get to use Odan in a pun sense, and just you remember that that's him.
Yep. I ended up calling him O Hunterdan at the beginning. Jardier has got that second position from Speed Demon, I see. And
that must have been a mistake. They were nowhere near each other.
Yeah, Jardier was good 8 tenths down from Speed Demon last time we saw them, and now it's the exact reverse.
37-0.
Ouch, yep, that'll do it. Both Jardier and Storm setting near as damn at the same time, 35.5, 35.6. Heidi 35.7. Yuhan actually 35.8, so Yuhan's got some decent speed. There, you just saw Yuhan still being chased by Dinda in the background of the shot. And there he is. You also saw in the background there would have been Nagram. There he is in the 6th position, still carrying Danny Vandermeer with him. So Danny's hanging on in there, not too bad pace from him, 36.5. So he's a little slower than Nagram in the last lap around, but thereabouts. Noah, next man down the road, 141, so he's had a major problem somewhere in the last lap. That's cost him a lot of time. Gibbs 37, so not a great lap from the Thrustmaster Coloured Audi either. There is the... well, yes, almost certainly. There is the Heidi, charging on, 35.7 in the Z4. Ironic, 35.8. Next car down the road in the Lamborghini. So the Lambo certainly has a decent turn of pace here. And oh, hello. That was Popsu and Zenny that were getting very, very close together. Zenny looking like, I thought he was going to have a crack at a dive on the inside there, but opted not to do so.
I do like it when cars arrive in camera shot looking like the back.
Yeah, absolutely. But Zenny choosing not to make a move. Jardier is still got Speed Demon for company, half a second separating them. As he Speed Demon...
close back up a little bit.
He did. He was the quickest man of the top 3, but they are now 6.5 seconds behind Storm, so Storm is quite enjoying himself out front. Oh, Jardier looks a little slow actually through the Dunlop curve. That's put Speed Demon right back on his case, and that has definitely put the red and white Audi, if I can get the correct syllables in the correct order, back in striking range. So it's going to come down to turn 6 again, I think. So they come through 5 now. Oh, that's a little close. I wonder whether Speed Demon felt he had to adjust his line there, because Jardier did look like he was a bit cautious coming through 5, and that may have caught Speed Demon out a little bit. But it also could have been tactical. It could have tried and put Speed Demon off. If Jardier felt that Speed Demon was quicker, he would have had to have put him off before the turn they've just gone through.
Absolutely. You're a little bit later on the roll. It just stops that guy behind having that same momentum.
Very nicely done. As they now come through 7 and 8. And still half a second between Jardier and Speed Demon. And just about saw in the background there was Johan. There is Zenny, and that is Popsu. They've been fighting for quite a while. They were pretty much fighting all race long, and again you can just see how quickly the orange and blue Audi closes in on Popsu in the braking zone. Of course, the normal concertina effect you always get. But it would seem that Zenny has got the speed, slightly more speed in the straights, but Popsu seems to have a little bit more confidence in the corners, perhaps. But I would imagine if Zenny can clear Popsu, he would start to stretch his legs a bit.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. It's very close. Ooh. He's practically pushing him through the corners.
That's unbelievably close. But again, that could be a little bit tactical. Popsu trying to just be a little bit slower to try and disrupt the momentum from Zenny. But if if I'm right, Impopsy's got a quicker cornering car. That's the reverse of what he needs to do. He needs to get on with it through the corners to build up the gap down the straights. But whatever setup Popsy's running, that's granted him a little bit of breathing space. That is Scott, you can see, who's got himself a penalty as well. Oh, Zenny seemed very cautious there through Dunlop chicane.
He's lost a bit of time there.
Yeah.
Do we have a little look at the penalties and see who's got what?
Why not? Let's have a look. So Noah's got a 4-second penalty, Scott 1, Zenny 1, and Nick Media 1. So I would imagine that 4-second is probably a few penalties combined for Noah. But depending on the nature of the penalty, depending on how severe the penalty is, they can be contested in the stewards. The 1-second ones people tend not to bother because it doesn't really gain you anything, but it's the 30-second, it's the 10-second ones that tend to need stewards' attention. Haven't seen any of those yet. There is DeHeide in 9th then, 136.0 last time, so I think he's been caught up in traffic a little bit. He cleared Gibbs. There is that green and black Audi in the background. He's got Noah now for company. He was nearly a second faster than Noah on the last lap. And look how early DeHeide goes for the apex. Looks like the Audi going for a much wider line. I say much wider line, but it does look like DeHeide diving for the apex much earlier than the Audi. And now looks like the right foot is very much down on the Z4. He was a second quicker again than Noah last time around. Goodness me, don't try an outside manoeuvre through there. that would go.
If you're going to do it at this next corner, because it'll be all of the impressive.
Yeah.
If you go on the outside here, you deserve a medal and a standing ovation.
That's
and
it.
a big ice cream.
The race is done. You know, we've just awarded you, despite the fact that you be up to 8th. Don't care. You've won for a move like that. You know, that's a Max Verstappen-esque move, if you were able to pull that off. But remains where he is for the moment, coming down towards turn 6. This will be his best opportunity within 3 tenths. Has a look on the inside, but doesn't. Oh, he didn't go for it. But I think that was that door was a little bit shut. Popsy now gets a penalty. So another one joining the penalty. We didn't really see any penalties last week in Indianapolis, and it looks like they're trying to make up for lost time in this particular race. Again, having a look on the inside in towards turn 7. It is possible to do, but he needed to be right underneath the rear wing to do it there. Now, and again, thought about it into turn 9, but it's not a very big braking zone there, so would have been a very desperate lunge then from DeHeide to try that move there. Storm now leads by nearly 8 seconds over Jardier. Bearing in mind, Jardier has... Oh, that was so close.
No, the oversteer into the last corner. You don't want to do that there, unless you're going to go for an amazing drift through both of them. Which I can't imagine is too fast.
I can't imagine it would help for your tyre life either doing that. No. So and you can see how much time that cost to Heidi. 37.0 last time, of course, being stuck behind the Audi. And now he's going to go for that outside move that we thought he was going to do last time. He's going to have the inside for turn 3, but can't get the momentum. The Audi just managing to power out of there and keep Heidi behind him. When you saw Heidi try to get on the inside for turn 4, doesn't quite get alongside enough to force the Audi out of position. Now he's going to have a look on the outside of turn 5. He's got alongside. He's just nosed ahead. He needs more momentum than that to pull it off. If anyone can do it, DeHeide can on the Z4. He's still side by side, but he's managed to do it. DeHeide, with a brilliant outside passing manoeuvre around turn 5, has taken that 8th place. What a move!
He worked for that. He worked so hard for that, and plaudits to Noah as well, because he was fair with that. Yeah. It was so easy and tempting to just run him off the road, but no, he was fair. He knew when he'd lost it, and losing it around the outside of turn 5, that's not the worst way to lose your position.
But a great move then by DeHeide. So now you can imagine that he's just going to get on with it and get away from those that are chasing him. Jardier 7.5 down from Storm, sending nearly identical lap times. First and second. Speed Demon has fallen off the pace a bit. 36.6 last time. He lost 1.2 seconds in that last lap alone. So I would imagine that he made a mistake in that last lap as Speed Demon was almost pushing Jardier a lap or two ago. Johan is, where is he? He's about 4.5 down from Speed Demon. There, he's actually shaking. Yeah, he's actually shaking, which again is no mean feat. I mean, Dinder was 4th last time out, so he hasn't had a great start of the season, but did a cracking drive last week. But I don't think this track is going to particularly suit the characteristics of the Mercedes. But then he's in 5th, so that particular analysis could also be completely wrong. So now Yuhan has got some decent breathing space. He can concentrate on his own nice. He's got 5 seconds to close down between himself and Speed Demon. I thought we'd lost someone there, but I think that was actually Andrex who pulled out of the session earlier on, leaving us with our 21 drivers. Gibbs right in the middle of a big old pack here. That's Noah directly ahead of him. And, of course, Tahidi we saw recently getting through this particular pack. Ironic is about a second behind him, so he's still got a lot of defending to do. There is Ironic currently in 11th. So trying his best he can to get on with it. Tahidi didn't have a good lap last time. 37.3. Noah 38.3. And that's a ball. Gibbs is right there. 36.7 by the Thrustmaster coloured Audi. Oh, he had to get out of that. You saw how he had to jump to the outside of that particular corner. Noah was quite slow, either by design or by accident. Completely put Gibbs off, and that's going to put Ironic in a potential offensive position. Got to defend. Yeah. He didn't get a good drive on that last turn, though. Again, he just lost that momentum, and he's now a second behind Gibbs.
It's nip and tuck. You can have the best couple of tenths through the next best couple of tenths through the final 2 corners. If you don't get the exit through to the final corner, your run into turn 1 is completely ruined, and you've got no hope. As Ironic
now gets his name on the penalty board. So they're going for a collection, it seems. So so far they've been either 1 or 4 seconds. Noah with the one with the collection of them, it seems. There is Danny Van der Min now up to 7th. 2.5 seconds down from Nagram, so not too far back, but what were they last time? 36.2, 36.7, so Danny closed in half a second on the Lamborghini last time around. So he's, again, showing very good pace, exactly as you said earlier, Stevie. He's proving rather why he's been promoted to this tier.
Absolutely. He's just running his own race at the minute. He's not getting in crazy amazing battles. He's just running his own race. He hasn't lost any positions. I think the only positions he's gained actually are the ones that are pitted, but that's still impressive. A track with a grid of very competitive drivers. Top job.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Danny then last time around 36.3, 36.4 between himself and Nagram, and that is Storm that is catching up to back markers. Oh, that's slightly unlucky. That'll be, I'm assuming that, I think that's Colonel McCoy. Yes, Bo is in the white Mercedes. Yep. So yeah, that is indeed Colonel McCoy, who has really, really struggled this season so far in the Audi. So through to take that's 20th position, then that is now a lap down. Storm then, it's going to cost him a little bit. Obviously, that wasn't Colonel McCoy's fault. He didn't have to jump off track. Again, the nature of the circuit, because it's so narrow, it's very easy to just fall off into the grass. But he did choose an opportunity to allow the race leader through, and that's looking at the time, that has allowed Jardier to close in a bit. Gibbs is still on Noah's case. This is a battle for 9th position. There is turn 5. We've just seen that moment with Storm and Colonel McCoy. Now Gibbs has a decent drive on the exit of 5, side by side with Noah heading into turn 6. Noah having the inside line, does manage to defend that particular position. Does Gibbs try to do a cutback? No, he didn't get the momentum he needed. And well defended then by Noah. And there's another sign of a confident and competent driver. If you're under pressure, you have to know how to defend. You can't panic, because as soon as you do, like I would, you'll end up taking both of you off.
Absolutely. It's interesting how different drivers go about overtaking and defending positions. Some drivers rack up behind someone and boom, go for it immediately. Don't give the driver ahead an opportunity to learn where you're strong and where you're weak. Here, unlike the one with the high D earlier, these two have got the exact same machinery underneath them. Maybe a little bit different setup, but they've got the same machinery, same engine, same brakes. It's all on driver. Yeah,
there will be subtle setup differences, I'm sure, but yeah, exactly as you say, it's the majority of it is the fleshy organic bit behind the wheel. And look how close it is. Of course, the more that Gibbs and Noah fight, Ironic is slowly crawling up on them. 30, actually Ironic was a 41.2 in that last lap. and that's Johan and Dinder. Dinder's closed back in on the 4th place Audi. So that's, let's see what the lap times were. Assuming then Johan's made a mistake, as he was a good 2.5 seconds last time we looked at them. And actually he lost 1.6 seconds last lap around. So Dinder then now has some company. They're in 5th position. Nagram is a little bit further back. What is he? A couple of seconds, 2.5 seconds behind. There goes the Lamborghini with Danny still running his own race there in 7th position. But Dinder now in a prime opportunity to try and claw his way up. That made it easier then for the Mercedes. Johan has chosen the halfway stage in the race. Half of the race has already gone. It's going to be interesting to see how long does he stay there for. Was there any damage on the car? They don't have to do anything. They don't have to take tyres. The tyres will last. They do not have to take fuel. It is simply a stop and go penalty for the want of a phrase. It's purely a matter of shop. Gibbs has brought his Audi in as well from what was 10th position. So
it's something interesting though. De Heide, who pitted very early, very clear of Johan, who was running 4th.
Yes, absolutely.
De Heide up to at least 4th at the minute, and based on that, you would assume he's definitely going to be ahead of Dinder as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe somebody was saying in the chat there was around about a 20-second pit stop time, because the pit lane here is much shorter than it was in Indianapolis. We were looking at about a 50 to 60 second pit lane loss, because the pit lane is so long and the pit lane limit speed is so slow. Out comes Gibbs then in 17th position, right behind Nick Meadow in the McLaren.
I was just having a look to see where Villalobos was after hearing Gibbs had that collision at the chicane. Villalobos, who pitted immediately after that, seemingly found some pace whilst Gibbs has stayed out.
Absolutely. Strategy, absolutely.
Sorry, that Bee Gees song.
There's Bo in the white Mercedes. He's he's a lap down from the Audis around him, and there he is. And so I think it's fair to say Bo has been struggling this time. There is Zenny. He's 3 seconds down from Popsu.
I think this driver has just made another mistake. He just lost another 1.4 seconds to Jardier.
He did. Speed Demon is struggling a bit.
I tell you what, I think this track is catching some drivers out.
Could well be. I mean, it's a relentless track. There are some places, Spa prime example. There's certain times where you can just let the brain just relax a little bit. You've got no chance here. You have got to be constantly on your wits all the time. And if any of these drivers are being silly enough to look at that horrid sport with the overinflated people, let alone ball, then then they are setting themselves up for a fall.
We've certainly not been let down here.
No. But yeah, Speed Demon definitely lost a fair chunk of time there. There's Danny Vandermeer.
Danny Vandermeer, who was having such a good race last lap, 37.9, so he's lost a bit of time.
He has. There have been, obviously Bo has been lapped by these guys, so could have been held up by a bit of traffic in some of these instances. There is Nagram in 5th position, 3 seconds behind Dinder. So, and Speed Demon is in. Yes, the first of our front runners then has opted to bring his car in fairly late in the race. Of course,
where he compares to this man. I think he should be ahead, but we will see.
I don't think he will be, because that's turn 11 he's coming up to now. Oh, it's going to be close. It is going to be close. Because, of course, De Heide's still at full speed. It's not as close as I thought it was going to be, actually. So De Heide then remains behind Speed Demon. There is
just in the distance, though. But that right there, that's a podium in front of him.
Yeah, and De Heide will know that.
Speed Demon keeps making mistakes. That's going to be easy pickings for De Heide, who has put the pace down a little since he got past Noah.
Yeah, but he did a 41.7 last lap. Oh no, big button. That was down. Yeah, 36.3. So I'm looking at the wrong D. That was Danny.
Danny's having a bit of a mare at the minute, it seems.
Yeah, he's.
I wonder if it's tyres or something like that.
I wouldn't expect. I'd expect that unless they're trying the soft tyres, which could be a thing. It was it being in the middle of the night, the track's temperature is that much lower, so there may well be a tyre heat issue going on. Danny now has got Speed Demon for company after his pit stop, and Heidi is 3.1 behind these two. Danny's going to have it all to do, but Danny could opt to just let Speed Demon go. You know realistically who you're in a fight with, especially if Speed Demons come out of the pits. Danny will know that.
Get a choice.
Yeah, job done. Whether you let him go or not, Speed Demon has seized the opportunity on the inside of turn 9, and Danny didn't really fight it. I think he realised that that's red and white Audie's just been through the pits, and not to try and fight him too hard. And stick in the slipstream and try and gain some time that way. This is ironic on Noah for 8th position. You can see the Lambo trying a bit of a different line. I'm hoping he wasn't going to try and outside manoeuvre around 10, 11. It's really not wide enough for that. But again, there's all mind games. He's making his car as obvious as possible in the mirrors of Noah, and he's had a good run in the slipstream coming through Dunlop Curve. Is he going to try something on the inside of the Dunlop chicane, or even on the outside? No, he opts not to go for that particular move. There is Johan and Scott. Johan's gone very deep though into the Dunlop chicane. That's going to put Scott right on his case, and Scott had a good run through the Dunlop chicane. That's surely going to be an easy pass for the Blue Merc up into 10th position, and Johan's not giving up on it. No, that's an outside move around turn 4. But the Blue Merc had the inside line and has claimed that position.
Don't think it's there. Johan's going to fight this for every bit of his work. As we saw from Heidi earlier, trying to hold it on the outside. He's not managed to clear him, but he's still hanging on. He's got the inside for 6 now.
Yeah, it's the inside with the double right-hander that the Audi wanted. He hung on as best he could around turn 5. Scott's let him go. And that was brilliantly defended. Johan really kept his cool there. It would have been very easy to almost allow yourself to be despondent, but he kept a level head, knew where he could get the grip and regain that position. Very nicely done. But there's the Lamborghini of Nagram trying his Ironic rather, wrong Lambo, trying to stay right with Noah. Well, he's not trying to, he is staying right with Noah. And yet again, you see the different line that Ironic is taking. Whether he's that was
close.
That was incredibly close. So here we go again, and I would imagine Ironic is really being held up by Noah, and a good slipstream then, and much earlier to start the pass. Goes the Lamborghini, gets ahead of the Audi before they even get to the braking zone, because the Audi has got the inside line. Who's braver on the brakes? Lambo outside for 2, inside for 3, and claims that 8th position from the Audi. Very nicely done. No impact between the two. And there in the background, you've got Johan, Scott, and Popsu's now right on the back of that particular battle as well. So Scott can't just concentrate on the car ahead. He's got to think about the fact that Popsu is right there in the waiting as well. And Scott is still hanging on as best he can to the back of the Audi. Popsu, and it does look like, look at that, the two groups, essentially, the group of 3 and the group of 2, are really closing in on one another. So Noah and Ironic, their battle is actually bringing them into the clutches. We saw that great move from the Lamborghini, and he's actually nearly a second, so I think it's Noah that's actually struggling. Yeah,
it's Noah that's been the little cork in the bottle, let's say.
Absolutely.
He doesn't care who's pitted. You're not coming past.
But we saw how well he was defending, so he's got some abilities and tactics. Oh, that's not how you do it though. Way too wide on the exit of 11. It's going to cost him some momentum. Johan is closing in on him, but of course Johan has got to defend from Scott. This could get quite interesting coming into the Dunlop chicane. Through the Dunlop curve they come. Is Scott going to have an inside manoeuvre on turn 2? No, he doesn't quite. That door is closed before he gets there.
that turn 1 sets you up so nicely to either have a lunge into turn 1, also the driver in front to defend, because it just leans itself over so much nicely for turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So Johan Oh, having a look at the inside of Noah. Noah's lost a lot of pace. 38.3 for the lead of this particular quartet of Noah in 9th position. And Scott having a think about the inside. Oh, bit of nudging going on there between the Mercedes and the Audi. He's saying, come on, hurry up. I need to get on with this. Wow, that was determination then from the blue Mercedes. There was a little bit close. I think Scott got a little bit caught out by Johan then. Whether Johan had to slow down more than expected because of Noah. You can see how much they've just closed in Noah and all over the back of him. And Scott's having to defend now from Popsu. So it's all completely changed. Scott's now going to play the defensive game against Popsu instead of attacking Zanny. And Noah is in. So that's going to be quite a relief then for Johan, as Scott is still trying to defend from Popsu, but because of that, that's given a lot of breathing space to Johan then, because that was about a second, or half a second, 6/10 between Johan and Scott. So Scott's not in an immediate attacking position unless he makes a crazy lunge. I thought he was going to have a go on the inside of the Dunlop chicane there, but I've got Popsu's crawling all over the back of that blue Mercedes. So this Scott's got a lot of work to do.
He has, and whether that was a late defence from Scott or whether a distracting move for Johan, because Johan missed the apex a bit there. You do, if you see a car lunging to the inside, you do instinctively, whether you mean to or not, you always just leave a little bit extra space just in case they get it wrong. But oh man, what Noah has done here is bring these three very close and paced drivers together. So thanks, Noah.
Thanks, Noah. Noah out in 15th position then after his stop. So his stop was actually pretty short. So no damage to deal with. He just seemed to have lost a bit of pace in this particular phase of the race. We are on lap 26 then. 10 to go in this 37 lap race. Scott defending 10th position from Popsu whilst trying to keep up with Johan. It's not quite going his way, as I think Johan is able to stretch his legs a little bit. There's De Heide on Danny Vandermeer's case. He has reeled in that Audi. 36, both of them actually doing 36 once last lap. So, whoa, my goodness me! I think that was I don't think De Heide meant to break that late, but a little bit of a tap between the two. But that's actually put the Audi a little bit off his rhythm. And De Heide having a look at the inside of 4. He's going to get the inside line, but he's going to then put him on the outside for turn 5. That doesn't matter. The Z4 is through. I'd imagine that Danny might have a few words to say about that, because that impact definitely put the Audi off its stride.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a lunge, and then it was, oh no, I may have done that a bit late.
Storm is in. Storm is in. Race leader has brought his car in. Does Jardier do the same? Yes. No, he hasn't. Jardier has chosen to continue. They were setting very similar lap times, so he's opted to not copy what Storm has done. And again, a pretty quick...
Straight in, straight out.
Yep, a pretty quick stop from him. There's Dinder, who hasn't brought the Mercedes in. I would imagine Storm's going to come out ahead of the Mercedes. And he does indeed. Ooh, a little bit close. Dinder's, of course, got the momentum. Is he going to have a think about it on the inside of the Dunlop chicane? No, he doesn't. He wasn't close enough for that. But now Storm back on his way. So Storm, oops, Dinder getting a little bit untidy on the exit of the Dunlop chicane. But also because he's beaten Dinder out, Storm then is... I thought Dinder was going a little slow then. Wow, look at this lot. That's Popsu. Has now got Zenny for company. So now Popsu is going to be in the position Scott's been in for the last few laps. He's trying to attack one and defend for another, and that has actually meant that Johan's not managed to get away either. So Johan's still in this battle. It's a quartet now, so it's Noah was in this. Noah's essentially been replaced by Zenny.
It's what we like when all the cars on the track are all around the same sort of pace and all close together. Although Zenny's dropping back a little bit there.
Yeah, it did look...
Has he got a problem?
It did look like he suddenly just dropped off. No, still... Yeah, he's...
Okay.
Jardier's in.
Yeah, here comes our current race leader, who's mainly because he didn't pit, but
in he comes. That's going to give the lead back to Storm. Wow, that was quick. That's going to help close the gap up, but Storm should. I mean, Storm was a good 6 to 7 seconds ahead of Jardier. It's going to be closer, but Storm. There goes Storm. He will resume the lead.
Oh, will
Is Dinder going to beat Jardier? Dinder did! Yes. Dinder actually managed to get ahead of Jardier, so that is not going to help the current champion try and keep up with Storm. That gap has halved. Oh no, big one. Yeah, sorry, it has. It has come down a good couple of seconds, Jardier to Storm, but of course now Jardier's got someone in the way, and Nagram right on his tail, so Nagram could fancy having a crack at Jardier, which could hold him up even further.
The only good thing for Jardier at the minute is the car ahead and the car behind are yet to pit.
True.
Whether he knows that or not is a different story.
You have to assume that unless he's either been told or he has the amazing ability to keep up with these things. Bearing in mind, as a driver, you can only see a few names around you. So unless he has some incredible telepathic power to know when anyone's come in, or unless they've announced it on Discord, which is possible, then I would imagine he doesn't know who has pitted when. Popsu's still keeping up with Zenny, keeping up with Scott rather. Zenny, I think, has found his pace back a bit. Oh, that's rather wide through 5.
I would like to give Scott a cheer because his last lap was a 1:38.000, and that's always impressive to me. I know their driver has really no control over doing it, but they have all the control over doing it, and it's amazing when it happens. You
like a nice round number.
I do. It's one of the little sweet things in life, and you don't get it very often.
True. We've had a few. I mean, Popsy did 38-100 and Ironic 35-400, so there's a few round bits in there.
Absolutely.
Scott in 10th position, still defends from Popsu, still trying to do something against Yuhan ahead. Storm back in the lead now against Dinder. Dinder has yet to bring his Mercedes in. Jardier is 5 seconds behind him. Behind Storm, rather. 1.2 behind the Mercedes. Nagram in 4th in the Lamborghini. Is trying to keep up. Speed Demon, one of the leaders that pitted a while ago, is 4 seconds behind Nagram. And therefore is about 5 seconds. Oh, someone spun. Did someone... I thought I heard someone's engine note just drop. Possibly not.
See someone recovering through here. Well, that looks like
where's
Nagram
Nagram? No,
is 4th.
Oh, Scott's having to think about... Oh, what a move! What a move! Sold the dummy to Yuhan. May Yuhan go for one-liner. Scott just dived on the inside of turn 5. That was brilliant. He does now defending the inside of 6. Oh, and Yuhan is not pleased about that, trying an outside manoeuvre, and that puts Popsu nearly on the inside for that particular turn as well. Scott, that was such a stunning move. That was brilliantly done. Nagram has brought his Lamborghini in, so that is going to gift a few percent. Oh, that's someone running slowly. Oh, Scott has got so much pressure on him. Popsu. Oh, that's... Look at that, nearly a pair of 2 wides coming into turn number 9. God, Scott must... whether Scott's paying a great deal of attention to that behind or just letting people get on with it is difficult to tell. But Zenny then, what an opportunistic move on Popsu to gain that 11th. Scott already jumping out of that, out off the racing line just to defend a potential inside move. But done that way too early. That... who was that? So we just saw coming out of the shot. I think that's a back marker as again Yuhan trying an outside manoeuvre into the Dunlop chicane. And oh, that was very brutish. That pushed Yuhan over the inside line. Yeah, Yuhan's not happy about that. I'm not entirely surprised. That's actually incorrect use of the flashing of the lights. You're not allowed to do that. But whether that will amount to a penalty is it's going to be down to the stewards again. Yuhan having a look at the inside of 5, trying to emulate what Scott did the lap before. Zenny is right there to try and capitalise on any mistake. Popsy's fallen off the back of this particular battle. Zenny, is he having a look on the inside of 6? He does, but doesn't quite get the braking done. Wow, that was Zenny that was Johan getting all out of shape. Dinder's brought his car in. It is going off all over the place.
You say Pops, you drop back. Maybe you drop back purely out of, I'm just going to watch this one unfold and pick up any pieces.
Yeah. Wowee, goodness me. So, Storm leads Jardier once again by 6 seconds. And oh, that is your move by Johan coming through turn 9. He's going to have the inside of 10. He does. Oh, we're back between the 2. Oh, wow, huge. I don't think Zenny actually hit him. Zenny just about managed to dive out of the way, but that's given Popsu a position. Popsu now up to 10th. Johan just got very, I think he was a little bit too wound up with that move last lap from Scott, and that's cost him. That's cost him dearly.
Oh my God, well, that was some racing. It was such good racing. It nearly killed King-Kodiak. Oh man, it was optimistic to go side by side through there, and they were almost doing it. It was a little bump too much in the way, and and off goes Johan. He's not too far back. With this lot still scrapping, he can absolutely get back into it, but he's got a little bit of work to do now. Also, Danny van der Nippet.
Yeah, Danny did indeed. He came out in 12th position. We have got 7 laps to go.
Because everyone should have pitted by now.
Well, they got another cut. Oh, what? According to you writing them down, everybody has been in?
No, as in it's lap 32.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3. No, end of lap 33 they can do it. We've just lost someone, actually. I've just seen the red flash. Who did we lose?
That's a good question. I don't see Johan.
Has Johan gone? Yeah,
Johan's
gone. Yeah, Johan has gone. He's clearly not happy about what happened, and he has decided to retire the car. That is a shame. A great shame. But I suspect the stewards will be busy after that one. But nevertheless, we still have people on track. Ironic, 1.5 behind Dinder. The leaders are pretty well spaced out. Noah has got Hunter just behind, but Alexis right in front of him. This is the 13th position. As we tend to see in this tier, we have got fighting up and down the field, and that's always a joy to see.
Absolutely. It's just nice to see as well now, not just defending, but also attacking.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw some great defensive moves from Noah beforehand. So, Alexis, it's such a shame that one spin was really what sent him down to the tail end of the field. Qualified in 5th, I believe it was, and then ended up facing the wrong way on the infield at turn 6 early on, and now finds himself down there in 13th. He's 4 seconds behind Villalobos. You've just seen his Z4 go out of the shot. So he's going to find it quite difficult to close that down in the remaining laps. De Heidi up to 4th then from pitting very early on, but he's still got 7 seconds to close down to Speed Demon. There is Nick Meadow in 16th in the McLaren with Gibbs behind, and the Hunter just ahead. So a potential battle forming with this particular pack. So don't discount fighting from here. Popsu still nailed to the back. Zenny nailed to the back of Popsu. Scott has not managed to break free too far from these two. Oh, and again, Zenny having to get out of that a bit to prevent slamming into the back of Popsu. Actually, looks like, I thought for a second, I think this is the way the livery looks. I thought that, yeah, it is. There's like what I thought was like an N on the top of Popsu's car. I thought his roof was dented for a second, because the black part. That would
be impressive.
That would be exceedingly impressive, considering the rest of the car is absolutely fine.
A really large piece of hail. Oh, Scott with the oversteer into turn 2.
Oh, that is not what he wanted, because he's got a pair of charging Audis right with him. That's going to cost him a couple of tenths, but he's not put himself in immediate danger, though, as Popsy's still fending off Zenny. Coming through turn 4. Lap 34, 37, the lap counter is ticking down. The top 5, top 6 are pretty much set, or even probably the top 7. This is the closest battling we've got. Zenny thinking about a move, heading down towards turn 6. He's going to have a look on the inside. Ooh, nearly pushes Popsu through there. but just manages to avoid an impact. It's still very, very close as the lap counter is counting down.
There's nothing more fun than watching drivers absolutely flat out battling another drivers who are absolutely flat out. Oh, Zenny has gone wide there, it looked like. Wonder if he got caught some oversteer at the first part of that chicane and had to save it rather than try and keep from being so close to Popsy. But that was an interesting line.
Yeah.
It's so nice to watch drivers absolutely flat out battling as if their lives depend on it. It's amazing.
Absolutely, and Zenny actually had a slowdown warning. He nearly stopped. He's now 3 seconds behind Popsy. So because of that slightly unusual line he took through turn 10, that cost him 3 odd seconds over Popsy. 3 laps to go here at Le Mans. Storm has led from... pretty much all but one, yeah, exactly that. He has been an utterly dominant force. Jardier in second by 7.5 seconds now. There he is. Speed Demon 4.5 behind him. In the next Audi to Heidi. Didn't quite manage to pull off the incredible strategy he did in the first race, but it's still a 4th place for him. He qualified much lower than that, so it's been a decent run for the Z4 runner. Dinder, another decent result looming for him. 4th last time out and well down the order in the first 2 rounds, but looking to score a decent haul of points here. Ironic though is 1.7 behind. It's just fallen a little bit off the back of the Mercedes in the Lambo, but a decent representation for the Italian Mark Nagram. The next Lambo down the road, there he is in 7th, 7 seconds ahead of Scott, who has been fending off Popsu. Of course, was Zenny on the back of that particular back, but it's no longer after the mistake he made last time around. There is Popsu. Just half a second separates those two. Zenny then just having to mind his own business. He's not, unless there's a mistake by the 2 ahead of him, he's not likely to close down that 4 seconds in the remaining laps. There is Danny van der Meer in 11th. Ran in the top 10 for quite some time. It's just the pit stop really that's putting him outside of it. A decent effort for him. Villalobos is the next car down. There he is in the Z4. Had Alexis just behind him in 13th position. In the next Lamborghini, I've got a lot of drivers with penalties, so the order might shuffle around. So let's have a quick look at who's got what penalty-wise. 3 for Ironic, 1 for Scott and Popsu, 5 for Zenny. And then 1 for Villalobos, 2 for Alexis, 4 for Noah, 2 for Hunter, 2 for Nick Meadows, 3 for Gibbs, 3 for Berserker, 1 for Gordon McCoy, and 2 for Bow. So pretty small penalties for that one.
Tell you who it makes a difference for though. This guy.
Ironic.
If Nagram gets a little bit closer, he's only at 4/10 at the minute, outside of gaining 6th place here.
Very true. And actually, Dinder is not far down the road, so I wonder if Dinder made a mistake somewhere along the line. He's
10th last lap.
We will see. He seems very slow, unless he's just being very cautious. He may well be aware that Ironic behind him has a penalty. Well, he will be aware that Ironic has a penalty. The interface does tell him that. 37.8, so it could be Dinder's just taking his time a bit. Final lap then, here at the Bugatti circuit. Storm has not relented at all in his pursuit of another win in this season. Jardier doing what he can to hold the charge, but it's proving pretty brutal. Still over half the season to go, so no reason for anyone to give up at this stage. Popsu and Scott side by side, they come out of the Dunlop chicane. The Audi having the inside line. Scott cannot defend against it. Nice move by Popsu. He's gone deep. Great move then by Scott. Little bit of wheel banging going on. Popsu just remaining on side. And Popsu return to the favour. Popsu then going to have the inside for 5. Can Scott hold on? He's not got the momentum to do it. And Popsu then up to 8th position. But will Scott do anything about it? But the winner here at Le Mans is Storm. Very nicely done in the lead Audi, with Jardier crossing the line in 2nd position. And Popsu and Scott are still swapping position actually. But Popsu then has managed to break free into that 9th position. There is Speed Demon taking the last podium spot. There is Tahidi, a valiant effort in the Z4. He comes home in 4th position. Dinda has hung on to that 5th place. Oh, a little bit deep, but it should hang on quite happily. It's irrelevant because Ironic's got too much of a penalty to overcome to make a difference there. Did Nagram gain the position?
Yes.
He did! Yes, Nagram was indeed elevated to 6th position because of the penalty. Popsu then is going to cross the line in 8th, but let's see how the penalties shuffle them around. Popsu remained in 8th position. Scott 9. Zenny is going to cross the line in 10th. And Danny Vandermeer didn't have a penalty. So fair play to him. He's quite happy with that. In 11th, there's the next Z4 Villalobos. Being chased home by Adalexis. Over the line then for 12th and 13th. Do they swap around? Oh, Nick Meadows got Gibbs for company as they cross the line. But they don't all have the same level of penalty. Hunter was actually elevated ahead of Noah as a result of it. And there it is then. Storm with a great victory. The fastest lap actually goes to Jardier by 16 thousandths of a second. So just goes to show you how close on pace they were. Just Storm having that little extra level of consistency. Speed Demon 3, Tahidi 4, Dinda 5, Nagram 6th, Ironic 7, Popsu 8, Scott 9, Zenny 10, Villalobos 11, Adalexis 12, Hunter 13, Nick Meadow, I've missed someone, Adalexis 13, Hunter 14, Nick Meadow 15, Noah 16, Gibbs 17, Berserker 18, Colonel McCoy 19, Bo in 20th, only losing one driver throughout that entire race.
Props to Storm though. I don't think in a single, from what I saw, every single lap was round about a 35.3 to a 35.6. Every single lap. Like we saw Speed Demon lose 1.4 seconds on one lap, or we saw Dinda with some laps, and everybody seemed to have a couple of laps where they just got it wrong.
Yeah.
Storm absolutely on the money every single time, except for the lap where he did a 34. But we'll forgive him for going faster.
Yeah. Yep. Not. I mean, even the greats make mistakes. So I didn't resize this image properly. That's why I'm having to try and squeeze it into the stream. Apologies for that. That is actually watching me resize this image rather awkwardly. Let's see who wants to talk to us. And unsurprisingly, it is Yaroslav Honzik. It is Jardier that is made himself ready for interview. There aren't many in Discord, so we may only get to speak to Jardier. Let's drag him over. And there he is. Hello once again, Mr. Honzik. What a race for you. How are you feeling?
Hey man, thank you so much. It was a beautiful race. I was kind of expecting like wars. I was very afraid about like white lines and everything, so I was pretty careful. And except the fight with Speedmon, I kind of enjoyed the race. I think it was a pretty good race, and I'm like, I feel a little sorry that I couldn't like be second behind Storm and try to at least like stay behind him or something, because I might be like at least like 2 seconds behind him or something in the finish. But it was good.
Well, you did get the fastest lap at the end of that, so
yes!
by 16 thousandths, you did get the fastest lap. So well played to you, Jardier, and still plenty of the season to come. So look forward then to seeing what is coming as the season progresses. Right, we actually have our Podium 3 in with us, which is always good to see. Let's head over to Speed Demon. What again a great race for you from our perspective at least. It was very enjoyable for us. How was that one for you?
Yeah, it was enjoyable for me. I just didn't have the pace of these two today. I tried to hold Jardier off as long as possible. I made one mistake and had to let him pass for a slowdown, and just constantly just making little mistakes after that. But yeah, enjoyable. I'll come back stronger next week.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Over to our godlike race winner. Is anything going to stop the Storm? What an incredible performance. How was that for you? I mean, we didn't see you a great deal because you just legged it into the distance. So, I mean, did it feel as controlled and as comfortable for you, or were you very conscious of the fact that one mistake could completely change things?
I would say both. I know I had the pace to win today, and I just needed to control it. And but yeah, when you have drivers like Giorgio, Speed Demon, Fabrizio, teammates, one mistake can have some very huge consequences at the end. So yeah, you need to be focused from the beginning to the end, and there was another great result.
Certainly was, and that is going to conclude this evening's stream. What an incredible race it's been. I was worried that we weren't going to have the numbers due to the football, but these guys showed up and put on an incredible performance. So, firstly, thank you very much, Stevie, for stepping in and being in control of the cameras. Always a great pleasure to have you with us, sir.
You're very welcome. I am known as the last resort, as labelled quite busy. And
by you.
So it is. It's always good fun. It's first time commentating with you, and it was a joy. Although you did absolutely blow my ears out at the start when you with your intro. I was not expecting that, but I'll learn for next time.
I'm sure that woke you up.
Oh yeah, it was like, okay, we're going, cool. It was great fun. GT3 never disappoints. It's always great.
Absolutely.
And thank you for those who tuned in and didn't watch the awful other sport.
Yes, thank you for those that have been with us throughout the stream. Always a great pleasure to have you along. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on an incredible show. It is a great honour and a pleasure to commentate for you guys. And we will be back for more AOR action next time. Thank you very much, and good night.